Hey, fifth graders. Okay, so it's time for chapter 2. When we left off with chapter 1, he had just opened the box and saw the engraved words at the top that said, "The meaning of life," for Jeremy Fink to open on his 13th birthday. I'd recognize my dad's handiwork anywhere. So his dad had this box and engraved it on the top for Jeremy to find and one day open on his 13th birthday. But if you remember in the letter from Harold, he says that he lost the keys. Okay, so this is chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called The Explanation. And some of these chapters are kind of long, so I might do chapter 2 in 2 parts again, kind of like I did with chapter 1. Okay. Looks like the package wasn't meant for your mom at all, Lizzie says after a few minutes. I don't answer. My hands are shaking, and I set the wooden box down on the kitchen table. We back away about 2 feet and stare at it. So this is your birthday gift? From your dad, Lizzie asks. I nod. My heart is beating so fast that I can actually hear it pulsing in my ears. We stare some more, and the words flowed in front of me. The meaning of life for Jeremy Fink, 13th birthday. Mom obviously knew about this for at least 5 years. Why did she keep it from me? I don't have any secrets from anyone. Well, I guess I haven't told anyone about kissing Rachel Swartz at her bat mitzvah last April. But that's mostly because it wasn't so much a kiss as it was our lips accidentally occupying the same space as we reached for the last Shirley Temple on the waiter's tray. So what do you think is inside, Lizzie asks. I finally speak. No idea. Can the meaning of life be in a box? Wouldn't have thought so, I say. And you never saw this box before? I shake my head. Your mom never mentioned it? I shake my head again and try to recall what I'm supposed to do to avoid having a panic attack. I've only had one, the time my mom and I flew to Florida to visit my grandparents last year. No matter what they say about how safe flying is, I think only birds and superheroes should be in the clouds. Deep breath in, hold it for 4 counts, deep breath out. I had never considered the meaning of life before. Why hadn't I considered it? What is wrong with me? Has everyone else thought about the meaning of life for me? Except for me, maybe I was too busy trying to learn about time travel so I could keep Dad from taking the car out on that fateful night. My time travel research is important, though, if not vital, to all mankind. How was I supposed to put that aside to ponder the meaning of life? Are you all right, Lizzie asks, looking up at me. You look a little green. I do feel a little lightheaded from all the deep breathing. I should probably lie down. We head to the living room and sink down onto the tan corduroy couch. I lean back and close my eyes. When I was 3, I named this couch Mongo. It was one of the first pieces of furniture that my parents found during the height of their old collecting days before I was born. Dad told me that objects people leave on the street were called Mongo. I think he must have told me this while I was sitting on the couch because somehow I thought he was saying the couch was called Mongo. The couch was old when they found it and older still now. The couch as the years went by, Mom kept covering up the holes with other pieces of fabric. At this point, the couch is almost all other pieces of fabric. But she won't get rid of it because I named it. She's sentimental that way. Apparently not sentimental enough to tell me about the box, though. You're starting to look semi-normal again, Lizzie observes. Not so green anymore. A little sweaty, maybe. Nothing like the appearance of this box has ever happened to me, or to anyone I know, or to anyone I've read about. I need to sort this out, to make a plan. I open my eyes and say, let's recap. Okay, Lizzie says, sitting forward eagerly. Lizzie loves a good recap. We saw a detective do it once on TV, and ever since then we've occasionally recapped our day. I stand up and begin to circle the coffee table. Okay, I say. We were about to go into the building when Nick came by. We convinced him to give us the big package with my mom's name on it. We promised to leave it for her, and then somehow, without realizing it, we opened it. That's one way to put it, Lizzie says encouragingly. Go on. Inside the box, we found a letter from a lawyer who was an old friend of my father's. He said he lost the keys to a wooden box that my dad left for him to give to me when I turned 13. I pause here to take a deep breath. I will turn 13 in a month, with no way to open the box. Maybe your mom has a spare set, Lizzie suggests. I doubt it. Harold sounded awfully sorry about losing them, so he must have been pretty sure they were the only ones. Or what if your dad built the box himself? Then maybe the keys are with his old tools. No, wait, your mom donated all that, right? I nod, remembering how hard it was for her to get rid of his stuff. It doesn't matter, though. Dad was good at fixing things up, but I don't think he could make something as intricate as this with all the keyholes. He definitely engraved the top himself, though. He loved that engraving tool. Yeah, Lizzie says wistfully, no doubt recalling the weekend where Dad went around engraving his initials on every wooden surface until my mother took the tool away, but not before Lizzie got a plaque with her name on it to hang on her bedroom door. Too bad you didn't get his handyman jeans. True. If I had, we wouldn't have the hole between my room and your room, from where I tried to hang those shelves. Over the years, Lizzie and I have made good use of that hole to pass notes back and forth. It's lucky our bedrooms are back to back, or else the hole might have gone into the middle of the Muldoon's kitchen. We'll find a way to open the box, Lizzie says decisively. I promise. No offense, but your promises tend to get broken, or at least bent a lot of the time. Not this time, she says, jumping up from Mongo. Come on, let's put the package back together. Your mom will be home any minute. I follow her back into the kitchen and watch as she repacks each item in reverse order. I'm impressed at how neat she's being, since Lizzie is the messiest person I know. As she tosses in the last of the crumpled newspaper, I realize there's no way I can pretend to my mother. There's no way I can pretend to my mother that I don't know what's inside. As Lizzie reaches for the long piece of packing tape, I say, don't bother trying to tape it back together. I might as well tell her I opened it. I'm not as good of a liar as you. Lizzie puts her hands on her hips and narrows her eyes. I think I've been insulted. I just meant that if I were a spy trapped behind enemy lines, I would want you to explain why I was there. We each have our strengths, and making people believe you is one of yours. So what's your strength, she asks. Good question. What is my strength? Do I even have a strength? Maybe I have too many strengths, and that's why I can't think of just one. Oh, never mind, she says, heading toward the door. I can see this is taxing your brain, and I have to get home to set the table for dinner. We agree that I'll send a note through the hole in the wall once I've been punished and sent to my room, which I'm positive is what will happen. Our grandfather clock, Mongo from 83rd Street and 2nd Avenue, chimes 5 times. This means I have 20 minutes before Mom comes home to do enough good things around the apartment that maybe she'll go easy on me for opening the package. Grabbing the fish food off the shelf in the kitchen, I hurry into the hallway where the tank sits on top of a long marble table. Mongo from 67th Street and Central Park West. The fish all swim to the surface to greet me, except for Cat, the loner. All my fish are named for other animals because Mom won't let me have real pets due to the fact that she's still mourning her childhood rabbit. Cat is a striped tigerfish who keeps to himself. Dog is brown with white spots and not that bright. He spends most of his day hanging his nose into the side of the tank. Hamster is a hyper-orange goldfish who swims back and forth all day long like he's in an Olympic relay race. My newest fish, Ferret, is long and silver and sometimes hard to find because he blends in with the gray rocks on the bottom of the tank. I sprinkle in some food and they quickly swim to the surface to gobble it down. These fish and I are a lot alike. They swim around the same 4 walls, safe and secure in their familiar environment. That's how I am too. Honestly, I don't see any reason to leave my neighborhood. Everything I could ever want or need is within a few blocks in any direction. Dad's store, I still think of it as his. Movies, school, the doctor, the grocery store, the dentist, clothes, shoes, the park, the library, the post office, everything. I don't like change. I grab the feather duster from under the sink and run around the apartment, swishing it over every possible dust collecting surface. I swish the mirrors, Aunt Judy's many sculptures, the tables, the bookshelves, the spines of the books, which almost all of which were discarded from the library or bought from a flea market. I dust the television screen and the beaded curtains that Mom made the summer she was pregnant with me and stuck in bed. I'm tempted to dust myself even. Running into my bedroom, I quickly throw my blanket over the bed, not bothering to straighten the sheets first. The stuffed alligator that Dad won for me by knocking over old milk jars at the state fair is trapped underneath the blanket. Now it looks like I'm hiding something because of the lumps and bumps. I'm about to fix it when I hear the double knock at the wall that indicates a new note is waiting for me. I lift up the poster of the solar system that covers the hole and grab the end of the rolled up notebook page. Our walls are about 6 inches apart, so when we first tried to stick notes through on small pieces of paper, they would fall into the hollow space between. One day, years from now, maybe somebody will find them and wonder who we were. Now we only use notebook paper rolled the long way so it reaches all the way through. Inside the note are 2 jelly beans, watermelon, my favorite. I pop them in my mouth and read the note. Good luck. If you get punished, there are more where these came from. Lizzie and I look out for each other that way. I scribble a big thanks at the bottom of the note, send it back through the hole until I see it reach the edge of her wall, and knock twice. It soon disappears from the other end. I'm straightening the books and the papers on my desk when I hear the front door open. I had planned on being in the kitchen next to the box when Mom got home, but now that it's time, I can't move. I sit on the edge of my bed and wait. I hear her key ring jingle as she hangs it on the hook by the door. Thud goes her heavy briefcase onto the floor. Now she's walking into the kitchen to get a glass of iced tea. I know her patterns very well. 3 more steps until she sees the box. 2 more steps. 1. Now she'll be examining the package, wondering why it's open. Now she's reaching in past the newspaper and pulling out the letter in the wooden box. And now she'll call my name. Okay. Now. Now? Why don't I hear anything? I expected to hear, Jeremy Fink, get in here immediately. Instead, silence. What does this mean? Another minute passes and still nothing. Is she trying to make me squirm by dragging out the inevitable? What if she slipped and fell and is lying unconscious on the floor? When I reach the kitchen, I see that Mom isn't, thankfully, knocked out on the floor. Instead, she's standing by the table, staring down at Dad's box. I'm familiar with that position, having been in it myself for quite a while. The letter's in her hand, hanging down at her side. Her face is pale. I can see some gray hair poking through the black, and for some reason, it makes me sad. I have the urge to take her hand. Instead, I just say, Mom, are you okay? She gives me an unconvincing nod and sits down in the bottle cap covered chair. You should have this, she says, and hands me the letter. She runs her fingers over the words Dad engraved on the top of the box. It was only a week after the accident when I mailed this box to Harold for safekeeping, she says, not taking her eyes off of it. Your 13th birthday seemed like a million years away back then. All right, I'm going to stop right there. So a couple things I want you to think about, and I have some options for you, okay? One thing is Jeremy has kind of described his house a little bit, or his apartment, and they've gotten a lot of things that they call mongos, so things that were discarded by other people, things that they found out on the street. He described his couch, which he named Mongo when he was a little kid. And he said it was a corduroy couch, but every time there was a hole in it, his mom would cover it with new fabric, okay? So one of the things I want you to do is try to picture what his apartment looks like and draw a picture of it, or draw his couch. What do you think it looks like in there? They described a few things. A beaded curtain his mom made. He talked about the fish that he has and what he has named them. He talked about a chair covered with bottle caps. So what do you envision his apartment looking like? You know, there's a hole in his wall in his bedroom that goes through to Lizzie's. Okay, so an option would be to draw a picture of what you think his apartment looks like. Either take a picture of it if you can get mom or dad's phone or something, or an iPad, and send me the picture. Or maybe on our Google Meet on Friday or next Monday, or whenever you have it done, you could quickly show all of us your picture of what you think it looks like, okay? The other thing I want you to think about is the box. So we've got this wooden box engraved on the top. It's got actually 4 different keyholes, and he's supposed to open it on his 13th birthday, yet the keys are lost. So what do you think is going to happen next? So that was part 1 of chapter 2. And in the next video, I'll finish chapter 2. We'll hear a little bit more from his mom about her feelings about how he opened it without permission, and a little bit more about what she knew about the box in the first place. Okay? So again, options: draw a picture of his apartment, or a part of the apartment that you've heard described. It's a big setting in the story. And be ready to share that with us. Also be thinking about what you think is going to happen next. What's your prediction? Okay, if you want to make your prediction in the comments below this video, I'd love to read those. Okay, bye guys, see you next time.